for that. Wildcard weekend's over.
It's over. Wow, that
It's
was
over.
that was football. Man, I'm excited to talk because those
I have a
games. I
question though.
mean, yep.
Did we? I don't remember this. I remember all of our picks. Did we or did you? I don't remember who I did. Did you have Bucks or did you have Eagles?
I think we all had Eagles, but we all agreed that it was going to
Right.
be a very, very terrible performance from both teams. And man,
Okay. Right. Yeah.
I mean, where do we want to start? Because I have a lot to say on both sides of the spectrum. So
I think this. Here's what I'll say. I think the Steelers game and Bills game, they're not as. I actually think our both of our predictions was pretty bang on that the Steelers would keep it relatively close. They would run the
yeah,
ball well. Um, and I mean the Bills. That was just a classic. The Bills are the better team in that matchup.
yeah,
That's kind of what said that to me. However, the Bucks Eagles game, I think it's not confusing to me why the Eagles lost at all. Like it's not kind of just like it wasn't their day.
no,
The
no, not at all.
Bucks pass rush better. The Bucks tackled better. The Bucks are more clinical on offense. The Bucks had the receivers. That being said, I do think if the Bucks had all of their healthy receivers, um, excuse me, I think if the Eagles had all their receivers, I think that's a completely different game. Hurts had absolutely nobody, and then we laughed about it on stream yesterday about the whole Quez Watkins thing,
Yeah,
and he just did absolutely nothing. I
yeah, of
don't think
course.
he had a catch the entire game.
No,
Um,
listen, I think, and Todd Bowles has won a Super Bowl as a defensive coordinator. That was his signature performance in his entire coaching career. I don't think I've seen a better executed defensive game plan this season. They could not handle the pass rush. Every passing down, Jalen Hurts was hounded. And it's
I
not like
know,
they
and
beat
that,
it's the Eagles'
yeah,
offensive line too, which is one of the
I
best in
know.
the
It's
league.
what I was about to say.
Which
Yeah, I mean,
which
yeah.
makes me very interested to watch the Lions offensive line play against this
Mhm.
Todd Bowles revitalized blitzing team. I mean, it's still too early for me to make my pick because I'm just right now comprehending what happened in that game. But my goodness, not only did the edges look good, I mean, first of all, this went wrong for every way possible for Philadelphia. I mean, up to the point where they got stopped on a tush push. So
Mhm.
there was nothing that Philadelphia did in that game that would have stopped that rampage. And Hurts hit one good pass to Devontae Smith for a touchdown, but other than that, he was pretty much neutralized. And some of that goes to Brian Johnson being a dinosaur in this offensive scheme. Some of that goes to just the lack of options on the field for him to pass to, because I mean you can throw it to Smitty as many times as you want. If your second option, I mean second options are Goddard and Swift, but your second wide receiving option is Olamide Zaccheaus. It's just in a
Yeah.
playoff game where you need to go and trust someone to make a play. You're always gonna look at Devontae Smith, and the Bucks knew that. So losing AJ Brown for that game is massive. Where does this
Yeah.
leave the Eagles now? I don't think Siri. I mean, if I were the Eagles, and I hate Sirianni, but if I were the Eagles,
As yeah,
I hate
as we know.
Sirianni.
As we know.
But if I were the Eagles, I would probably try to run back what you have and try to do it one more time with Sirianni and try to keep the majority of the guys that you have on
Yeah.
board,
The Eagles are
because
fine. The Eagles
yeah,
are fine.
you
Yeah.
can't reset. But I
No.
wouldn't be surprised if they fired Sirianni, because again, what does he do?
Mhm.
So
I think
yeah, I
it's very
mean,
glaring here. It's an aging secondary, and that's virtually what
yeah, I mean,
lost them that game.
on the Trey
Um,
Palmer touchdown, I mean, James Bradbury got manhandled, and then Kevin Byard looked like he was running like away from him. It just,
I know.
and you know what? You know what? It's nice to see that sometimes when you bring in the best players from 5 years ago, it doesn't work. So
Yeah, I mean,
it's nice to see that.
this just highlights everything we've been saying throughout the season, just of how the NFL was just so weird this season. Like it was just so unpredictable, and like you said here, just like they're the first ever like teams with over 11 wins to lose in the first round. And I mean, you look at a Bucks team now that looks amazing. Like the Bucks against the Lions is not in
That is,
And I
I love
know
that
everyone
matchup.
knows is in no way an easy pick. I don't think Houston against the Ravens. I think all these divisional games are fantastic games. You obviously have the third rematch of Mahomes Allen in the playoffs. And it's just the different here. But yeah, I mean, I guess when you go back to the Eagles game, it was the Bucks played every single part of that game at a higher level. That being said, and I will restate it, it's a very different game if Julio stays on the field.
It's
Just
true.
Julio,
It's true.
like forget about AJ Brown. It's like Julio was set up to have a very, very good game. I think unfortunately for Devonta Smith, and again, I'm not hating on him at all. I think Devonta Smith is a fantastic receiver. That catch deep downfield at the end of the first half, to set up that touchdown, was fantastic. But he's just not really a wide receiver one, and I wouldn't say he's a wide receiver two, but like in that game, if you have Tyreek Hill, if you have Justin Jefferson, if you have one of those guys, like you can only have them and still win that game if you're the Eagles.
Yeah. No,
And again,
AJ Brown.
yeah, AJ
AJ
Brown
Brown
has not been good, but
yeah.
he could be, yeah. And this
Yeah.
is not it seems like I'm shooting shots at Smith, and I don't mean to at all because I think Devontae Smith is a fantastic receiver, and that's not what I mean. But I just think they didn't have the offensive firepower. DeAndre Swift played terribly. The offensive line was not very good. Obviously Cam Jurgens with those, they had the
a lot of
they had the illegal man downfield. Then they had Mailata with the false start. So it was kind of just setback after setback. Hurts looked like he knew they were going to lose the whole game. Hurts did not look like he had the attitude for that the whole game. So that's kind of the story of the game for them.
Yeah, I mean,
And,
for where you go forward with Philadelphia now, I mean, I think they're in a similar spot right now to Dallas and in a similar spot to Miami, where that team folded at the end of the season completely. And I mean, you're not blowing anything up, but you have to get to the root cause of the problem, whether that be Sirianni or whether that be you need to gut your aging talent on your roster and go in and bring new guys. So I think, first off, biggest kudos possible to Baker Mayfield, because he did something that I didn't think he would have been able to do today, even though he was great today, but he didn't even need to be, but he was. So I think going into Detroit,
I think he needed to be.
No, I mean, they would have won that game even if it was average Baker Mayfield play, but he was great. That's not to discredit him. He did a great job. But I think they would have won that game even with a normal game from Baker. But I mean, it's just a great game from him. And Mike Evans was barely even involved. And I mean,
I know. And Godwin wasn't really involved.
Godwin wasn't involved until the last touchdown he caught. I mean,
Rashad White had a great game.
Yeah,
great game
and he's been good all year. Just because, I mean, that's what happens when you give running backs volume, though. I mean, efficiency-wise, he really hasn't been that efficient. But you just tire out the defense with his legs, and eventually he's going to break one. And he didn't break one today, but he got a couple of key first downs.
So, this is a funny one.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I mean, he's just tired of it. Like,
I'm just tired of it. I can imagine after losing that and just look, Tomlin, great. I do think it's overhyped. He has never had a losing season, but like the Steelers have for the past 4 or 5 years just done really nothing in the playoffs.
The Steelers haven't won a playoff game in 7 years. And they've been in a playoff game in 7 years, like 5 or 6 of those years.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's what I mean. And Dylan, I think it's actually really funny because I think it brings it back to kind of and again, I'm not bringing up Tua. We're not having this argument, but it's just that argument that people have around Dak, around Tua, around Tomlin, where it's like, yes, very good regular season. They win games, but it's when it matters. Like, yes, if you bring Tomlin back, I'm sure they'll have another winning season, but are you willing to give up just a wild card loss after wild card loss? That being said, I don't think this is necessarily Tomlin's fault. So
no, not at all. It's a weak offense.
Yeah, that actually, they didn't have a quarterback. I think they still need another receiver.
Well, I think they can. I think they can
offensive line,
develop
yeah.
Johnson and Pickens into a legit star wide receivers 1 and 2
But
duo.
Johnson is already. It's not like Johnson's yet. Like Johnson's
No, I
been in
know,
the
but
league for what, 4
Johnson's
years?
also,
He's
but
regressed.
he's also played with the carcass of Ben Roethlisberger, Devlin Hodges, Mason Rudolph, Mitch Trubisky, and Kenny Pickett. It's not like he's had
Yeah.
a
So
good
maybe it's
enough.
quarterback. Maybe it's quarterback.
I think they need to either find an offensive.
Dak Prescott, maybe.
I mean, maybe you need. I think they need to find either an offensive coordinator that can maximize Kenny Pickett, because I'm not giving up on Kenny Pickett yet. I don't think he's.
Yeah.
I don't think he's great. He hasn't shown anything great yet, but he's had flashes, and he's also been playing under Matt Canada. So I feel like you might have to give him the benefit of the doubt if you're gonna run it back with this roster, but. I also wouldn't be surprised if they went in and tried to make a play for Fields or tried to trade up for a quarterback. So I think a lot of stuff is on the table for the Steelers.
And where I generally would agree with this comment, I think that weather and the lead up to that game and the Bills, scored the. I really wouldn't say how the team lowest any team or no the Eagles. But I think we all knew it was gonna be this. We all knew it was gonna be a cold, scrappy game. So I wouldn't fully agree with this. But
I would say
I think the Bills are. I mean,
to
Josh
me,
Allen had no mistakes.
To me, it's not more. It's not an indictment on the Bills, because it's kind of just like parallel with what I've thought about them the whole season. It's that they have what it takes to win games against these teams, but they're not going to be pretty when they do it. And I think. Going into the game against Kansas City, I think both of those teams are like that. I mean, contrary to what most people think, in a Josh Allen versus Patrick Mahomes matchup, I think this is going to be one of the scrappier games in the playoffs when they go go head to head next weekend. So
also, just I wouldn't say. Buffalo, I feel like
I also would like to give credit to Mason Rudolph, who I thought played really well today. I didn't think he made a bunch of plays that I would have never expected him to be able to make. So I would like to give credit where credit is due there, but a lot of that also just has to go to Buffalo not being able to sack him. Like, he's not that evasive, but they missed on a bunch of sacks. He got away, and then just missed coverage in the middle of the field. They had some defensive cogs that they needed to work out, but that's what happens when a bunch of your running backs your linebackers get hurt. AJ Klein came in from he actually lives in a trailer right now. He came in and he's playing for the Bills.
He used to be good on the Saints, though.
Yeah, he was good, but he was teamless until maybe a week ago. So he came in, and I'm sure they haven't once that was figured out.
Dylan just hating on people who lives in trailers.
I'm not hating. I'm saying he played a good game, but
yeah, he did. Yeah, I mean, the Bills game just to me was what we thought would happen.
I thought it was going to be more low scoring, but I thought, like, in general, the sense was pretty much there. Well, what's your opinion on the 52-yard touchdown run from Josh Allen? Was that a fake slide or was that clean football? Because I've seen it go both ways, where it's like, yes, he did hesitate and the defenders did stop because of it, because if they hit him, it's 15 yards. But at the same time, he never really indicated that he was going down to the ground. So it's kind of like a gray area. I don't really know what to think.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, it's just, as a referee, I think there should be a rule where it's like almost and not to bring it to just any rule where it's like, if it's not clear and obvious, the ruling on the field stays. Like, if it's not clear and obvious that he was going down, they keep it. Or if it, you know what I mean? That made no sense.
No, I actually do understand what you're saying, where the call on the field shouldn't be reviewable. But the question is, because it was very clear that the downhill tackler was completely stagnant when Josh Allen continued his run. So he would have been tackled and it wouldn't have been a touchdown if he hadn't done that. But, I mean, honestly, I don't know what to think, though, because I feel like I kind of think it's genius and outsmarting it. I said that with the Kenny Pickett fake slide. Like, it got banned when it happened.
But that's why it got banned,
it's smart. Like,
I mean, no, it is. But
if quarterbacks continue to do that, they're just going to get railed. So I don't think they're going to do that. That's not what I meant.
What was what you said yesterday? It was
What did I say?
touchable. Like he's
Oh
touchable.
yeah. He's touchable. Yeah.
Um,
Uh,
yeah. Um. Uh.
So
This is
do the
yeah.
Cowboys win with Baker
This
Mayfield?
is a
No, they
fantastic
don't.
question.
They don't. The Packers played
I
too
think
good
it's
of a game.
closer though.
I mean, yeah,
I think it's
yesterday,
closer.
yes, but in no way is Baker a better quarterback than Dak. I don't think, even after today, I don't think we can make that argument right now. But
I would agree with you, but I do think
credit
that
to
they
Baker, though.
having Baker in there would make little to no difference.
Maybe
Because I mean
in
it's too
that
similar.
game,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I think it's comparing apples and oranges because Baker was asked to do a very different thing than Dak in this game today. So but all credit to Baker. He came into this team with no expectations and he took them to a division title and a playoff win. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean Baker, man. We count him out, but like there's a reason he was the one overall pick. And Dylan, I said it yesterday. What were the keys to the game? Baker needs to manage a clock. They had the ball more. They were defensively more efficient. And Baker was methodic. Their play action was working very well. He was handing the ball off well. That throw to Mike Evans in the middle of the field is really good. Yeah, I mean, watching the camera angle from behind the quarterback, it just shows. And I have this argument with my dad just nonstop. It just shows why I think quarterback's the hardest position to play in sports. I mean, the time you have to process. Like I have a genuine question for you, Dylan, because we do soccer as well, so it's not like we're really going off topic. But do you think it's harder to be a guy like Kevin De Bruyne or like a quarterback, like what Kevin, like where he's dribbling and processing and having
Facilitating, yeah.
I think it's quarterback, and I don't think it's close.
I think quarterback. I think it's close because the amount of running you have to do as a midfielder. I mean, from personal experience, it's an insane amount of running. So you're playing while tired, and you still have to process things in your brain at a snap speed. But you also really don't have that much of a risk of being completely pummeled every down. So it's like in football. I feel like you're playing for more for survival. At that point, it's kind of like I would say playing quarterback is harder because it's also like a preconceived thing. You kind of know what you're gonna do, but you don't exactly know what's gonna happen. It's not as free flowing as soccer where you can make something happen out of nothing. Out of structure, like I mean, there is out of structure plays in football, but it's significantly less than soccer. Like there's no structured runs that a player is supposed to make, so it's like you're kind of more willy nilly to be able to do what you want.
Yeah, no, exactly. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. And especially this was especially prevalent yesterday with the, you remember the Jordan Love throw? It was like, he kind of it was to Dobbs, and it was just the sidearm, and it was in the red zone.
Yeah. It was the touchdown, right?
It was like,
was it
like
the last touchdown?
Dad, you can't watch that. Yeah, that's yes.
The last touchdown. I was saying yesterday that was the most impressive throw I made all night.
I don't understand how you can just watch that and not think that it's the hardest position to play in football.
I mean, I will say man coverage corner is incredibly difficult to do. But quarterback, you just have to there's just so much more thinking.
Yeah, this comment's true. Obviously, it is very sad.
I still think there's potential he fires back next season. Like I would say more likely than not that'll be it. But I'm not completely stunned if they bring him back next year. Yeah.
Well, I don't think it's as much up to them as it is up to.
Yeah, and honestly, I think he might just want to. He might just want to come back though. He might want to have one more run.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so where does this Buccaneers team match up against the Lions? Well, I mean, honestly, I think the defensive line versus offensive line is going to be the matchup of the game or not even defensive line, just the blitz packages that Bowles was able to bring. I mean, that was unreal. Like, I can't stress it enough. He not only outsmarted, but out talent, like the talent on that defense. I mean, I'm just lost for words. I can't believe how good
It's
they were
great,
not to
and
play.
Kalijah Cansey and
Did you see the play that Greg Gaines made? I think that saved the NFL from the tush push. The play that Greg Gaines made on the 2-point conversion, he got under Jason Kelsey and completely stopped the momentum of the tush push. You just have to get low first and be able to push up on the center. I think it completely saved the NFL from the tush push for years to come.
maybe I actually didn't even see that play. I didn't see the replay of that.
He just
Um,
instead of trying to push Kelsey back, he literally just fell, and Kelsey fell on him.
yeah.
It was brilliant.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that is smart. Yeah, I think for the Lions Bucks, I think well obviously we're gonna do our podcast tomorrow with our divisional picks, but I think the matchup is very interesting because I think I would give the defensive line to the Bucks, but obviously Lions arguably best defense or best offensive line in the league.
So are the Eagles.
Very good defensive line, and it's a Bucks offensive line that really besides Wirfs, I would say, struggled. Like Stinney just gets manhandled at that left guard. And kind of you run a stint with Aiden Hutchinson inside. That I think is going to be tough, and it's a really good Eagles. It's a really good Lions running back. It's just a perfect. It's going to be a trench warfare.
So thinking more about it, the way I feel about this game was, I don't think the Bucks are going to be.
And this.
So the answer to that is Zion McCollum, who had an unbelievable game at slot.
I don't think so. I think it's Jamel Dean. I think it's Jamel. Oh, I guess. But I'm on.
It'll be both. Yeah. It'll be both of them. But
yeah,
unbelievably played today from Zion McCollum. But it's going to be a bunch of guys. But I think the biggest problem for Tampa Bay is, do you think they can commit to playing the same style of football, knowing that Jared Goff's strength is getting the ball out quick? Because
that's what I was thinking. But I mean,
I don't even know if quick.
Would you say Hurts' strength is getting the ball out quickly?
No, absolutely. Jalen Hurts' strength is using his legs and using his brain to maneuver past defenses. Not really just.
Also, not in Tampa Bay.
No,
which I think helped.
No, I mean definitely. I think if you're Detroit or if you're Tampa Bay against Detroit, you definitely don't go away from what got you here. You have to run a lot of these blitzes. But I don't think you can, just thinking about it more now, I don't think you can rely so heavily on Goff to panic because he's very calm. You have to, I think you have to play a little bit more contained. But, I mean, who knows, because it worked so well today.
Yeah, and also, it was just wonderfully coached from Bowles because it was they were blitzing at the perfect times at those 3rd and longs where it's like he has to sit in the pocket for a little longer. The safety was
it was a horrible play.
I mean,
by
you're
Hurts,
rushing
though,
forward and you get that safety against a fantastic Eagles offensive line. Kalijah amazing. So it's just, I mean, it's a defensive line that has been fantastic for years. You still have Shaq Barrett, you still have that electric and athletic linebacking duo in Devin White and Davis.
And that's
it's a Bucs team that I could see 100% winning
so
this.
Scary. That's what makes that defense so scary is his X factor is Sam Laporta, but you also have now 2 of the best pass coverage linebackers in the league that don't even really need to do that much in the pass rush or the run stop because Bowles is able to scheme so well. So I think the Buccaneers defense is built so well to the factor to like pretty much not really to pretty much just cancel out anything that their offense lacks. And while they did put up a lot of points, I think it's pretty clear that their offense is not up to the caliber of that of the rest of the teams in the playoffs right now.
Yeah, it just I don't know. It's that I think again, like you said, that Lions game I think will be the best game. the Lions Bucks game. I think it's gonna be a fantastic one. But then also Bills Chiefs. It's a fantastic division.
And then Ravens. Yeah, I mean,
they have Ravens Houston.
No,
I feel like maybe we go live for one of those.
I would be so in for that.
Maybe we do it because Saturday's last day.
Can you pull up the last comment?
Oh yeah, quick? Sorry.
I don't think this is a fair indictment on Bowles. His time with the Jets was very hampered by bad quarterback play, bad GM moves. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Todd Bowles was the GM. It was the coach when it was the Le'Veon Bell. Like they tried to bring in Le'Veon Bell and it didn't really work. And then they fired him, and then they brought in Gase.
No.
Or was it?
It was Gase. Gase was during Bell.
So Bowles was there during Hackenberg and Petty, and that was their worst time period. Bowles was always a defensive mind, and I don't think that the Jets' defense, even during this period, was the problem with that team. They just never had good enough quarterback play. Bowles also, he goes into Tampa Bay after that. He wins a Super Bowl as the defensive coordinator where he completely outmaneuvered Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, and that was the reason they went and won that game. Mm-hmm. Then he gets the head coaching job when Arians is gone. He gets the head coaching job when Arians is gone. He takes a little year where it takes a little bit to get used to because you have an aging Tom Brady. The defense had lost a few pieces, but then you get your Yaya Diaby, you get your Kalijah Kancey, you get your Zion McCollum. These are players that come into this defense now and make it so much more scary. And then you also have the established group of veterans, and you still have Mike Evans on offense, who is honestly, am I going too far by saying he's a top 10 receiver ever at this point? He has the numbers. He has been, over the course of his career, the most consistent.
I would have to go through the list.
I mean, he's been the most consistent receiver I've ever. I mean, there's no debating that. I'm probably overstating it, but he has.
Yeah, I think you are. But
I mean, the stats just back him up. So, how do you do it at that level? He never gets hurt. It's just.
Mike Evans is an enigma in the wide receiving world. Mm-hmm. No matter what, he always comes up with 1,000. Top 10 all time. I would have to go through my list. And again, I'm to be completely honest, and Dylan, you know this, I'm someone who has gotten into football recently. If you kind of look at it, I've only been a football fan for really since my freshman year, got into it my freshman year of high school. When we started the channel.
I've been watching since I was 6, but I really got a deeper understanding around the same time. So, in our time period, I think we can only really say Calvin Johnson and Larry Fitzgerald. Yeah. Calvin Johnson and Larry Fitzgerald and Julio Jones and Antonio Brown. Those are the guys that are probably ahead of him. But even a guy like Tyreek Hill, who could go down as one of the best receivers to ever play, he hasn't done it as consistently as Mike Evans.
Yeah, Jefferson probably will.
Jefferson's too early to say though. We can't quite go there. AJ Green.
I'm just saying though, when you look at Odell.
Nah, Odell didn't have a long enough peak.
Yeah, but his peak was.
Oh, his peak was unreal, but I'll take the longevity over the peak in this scenario.
Yeah, but that's not what people take when it comes to the top 10. Top 10 all time.
It's all different. If we're going off solely primes, then he's not even close. But it's just the way it's the way that he's managed to stay at this level that's consistently elite for 11 years now. That's so impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's talk Chiefs Bills. Man.
Oh, let's see this. I want to go over this list.
Yeah, this seems right.
Steve Largent. I forgot about him, Irvin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This list. Yeah, that seems right. I would also add.
Yeah, Dan, that was kind of a crazy take.
No, I knew, but if you look at the numbers, Mike Evans has had a better career than Devontae Adams, just purely based off of numbers. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
saying that that's the truth, but like they got drafted in the same year. Mike Evans he's won more Super Bowls. He's been the wide receiver one on his team since day one. He hasn't left. He hasn't missed a season. He's had 1,000 yards every season. He has more career receiving yards, I think. It's just wow. I mean, it's there's a lot. But let's talk Bills Chiefs.
Maybe he is there.
This,
Maybe,
I mean,
yeah, maybe you.
what's your thought process on Bills Chiefs? Because I haven't quite come to an opinion yet. I
Sorry,
think I know.
I don't know why I'm lagging.
Yeah, nah, you're good.
Sorry, you're talking Bills Chiefs
Bills Chiefs, yeah.
again. Huge swing that it's in Buffalo. Um, it's a tough one for me because again, I mean, it was a Chiefs team that looked fantastic. It was a Chiefs team that looked like they could make the Super Bowl. Against the Dolphins team that, I mean, Dylan, obviously you thought could win. I thought could win. A lot of people thought that the Dolphins would win that game. And again, mistakes by the Dolphins, yes, but I do think the Chiefs played a very good game.
Yeah. The Chiefs,
But
they were just ready in that scenario where the Dolphins.
yeah, I think the question is, Dylan, is how much can we praise the Bills for winning a game against a Steelers team that arguably shouldn't have even been in the playoffs, you know?
And that's going to be
Like,
the
have
question.
we really seen play out the Bills against a good team?
That's going to be the question for Buffalo going into every game for the rest of this playoffs, until they play Baltimore. I mean, Kansas City, you can even make the argument that they didn't have a good regular season either, and they played a team that wasn't ready to play in the conditions either. So both of these teams are on fraud watch, and I've been saying it from the beginning of the season. Both of these teams are on fraud watch. Whoever goes out and wins this game, you're not a fraud, because if you make it to the AFC Championship, you're not. But both of these teams haven't proven themselves yet, I want to say. Like Buffalo fans, I know this will eventually it'll be on the TikTok and they'll all be like, "What do you mean they haven't proven themselves? They won a playoff game and they beat you twice." I'm not making this a comparison. The Dolphins are bigger frauds than the Bills. Congrats. But like, you can't sit here and tell me that you're comfortable with the Bills going into a playoff game when you barely could squeak by the Steelers in that game. You haven't
not barely. They handily stuck by.
No, I mean there was time in that game where I thought that it was an overtime bound game, and
I guess
the Bills didn't play a good game. I would make that statement, but
I don't think so. I think Josh Allen played a great game.
Josh Allen did play a great game, and it's the first.
Defensively, it was.
It's the first great game that Josh Allen's played in a pretty long time. But that was a great game.
The Dolphins game, Josh Allen played very well.
But the 2 interceptions outweigh so much because they were so stupid.
Yeah, I guess, but I don't know. I think Josh Allen has played. Yeah, no, yes, this was a very good game, but I think he's been good. I think that's also another huge thing is Josh Allen going to be an idiot and do those turnovers that he does, but he seems to have matured at least in this Pittsburgh game, and I think that's what we thought would. I mean, the two keys for Pittsburgh to win this game were dominate in the run and Josh Allen throw those just stupid picks, and that's how you win. And he didn't do that, and they won it. And Josh Allen just ability, like he uses his legs. He had over 80 yards, I think, rushing, or over 70 yards rushing.
Yeah, I mean, Josh Allen. I mean,
I think he just offers so much to that Bills team.
He does, and rightfully so, people have gotten it twisted because and it's not even twisted because I haven't really led anyone on the other way. I've kind of just only spewed hate to Josh Allen. I want to make it clear. Josh Allen is he's a great quarterback. I feel like that goes without saying. He's a great quarterback. Stylistically,
and you think he's better than Tua?
Stylistically, I'd prefer Tua. I think Josh Allen right now is a better quarterback than Tua. But stylistically, I would rather not have a chimpanzee with a machine gun on my team. That's just the way I would say it. But right now, yeah, he's a better quarterback.
Okay, wait, Dylan. You would rather have Tua than Josh Allen right now in the Dolphins?
Yes. But I think Josh Allen's a better quarterback. But right now, I would not want to. I would not be able to watch Josh Allen every week. It would be
The
completely
Dolphins would the amount of Super Bowls the Dolphins would
no.
win with a genius like
Kian, Kian,
McDaniel and
Kian,
Josh
Kian.
Allen.
This argument is tired because you can't just stick any quarterback into a scheme that like this scheme doesn't just work because of McDaniel. It works because the quarterback is on board with it. Josh Allen is the worst possible fit for this scheme. Short, intermediate passes, accurate.
Yeah, but you bend the scheme around the quarterback.
Yeah, but you can't just say drop him in the McDaniel scheme and they win multiple Super Bowls because that's not how that works. But anyway, I don't want to start this whole dialogue right now, though. Dude, that's such a fact. Tony Romo. Can we talk about this right now? Tony Romo. I think it might be a conflict of interest at this point. I think they can't have the Bills on CBS anymore. I think
I thought honestly, it was Mahomes who he did that to.
No, it's Collinsworth with Mahomes, and he does it somewhat with
Collinsworth with Mahomes, not Romo.
But bring this comment up because this bothers me so much. The way that the Bills, and not even the Bills, the way that Tony Romo he's a Bills fan. Did you not hear the point in the broadcast today where it was a touchdown that got called back for the Bills, and Jim Nantz said Tony was up here jumping up and down, but they called it back. Like that I'm on podcasts. You guys know me for podcasts. I'm very desperately trying to go into sports broadcasting, doing game calls. That is the number one thing you can't do. You can't actively root for a team. And Tony
unless
Romo,
you're that team's broadcaster.
Yeah, of course. But he is a national broadcaster, and he has actively rooted for Josh Allen and the Bills since the day he stepped in the booth. Great analyst, and he adds a lot to a broadcast when it's not a Bills game.
He is. It's so annoying.
But when he's when he's on the Bills games, it is just unwatchable. It's unprofessional. I mean, it's just like you have to have the conversation with him because everyone notices it now. I thought I was one of few. I think I was one of few people that noticed it from the get-go. But now it's so clear. It's such a problem.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know. I keep lagging.
Yeah, no, it's a lag.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I mean, especially for you as somebody who wants to get into broadcasting, it's annoying to see a guy like Romo who just gets into it, amazing at it.
Yeah, I mean, he does a great job when it's not the Bills, but I think it just tears out every. It makes me so mad, and even like. I want to say that it doesn't have anything to do with just I don't like the Bills. Like it probably does. It probably is something along those lines that like it bothers me more than most people because I don't like the Bills. But I feel like everyone notices it now. Like there was a play from the Dolphins and Bills game on Week 18. It was the play where Josh Allen bounced it off of Van Ginkel's helmet and they called it in the end zone. And on the touchdown call, I mean, he later he didn't correct it, but he was like, "Oh yeah, that bounced off a helmet." Romo said, "And that anticipation from Allen to see Sherfield in the middle of the field was what he said. He threw the ball off a helmet. It's like objectively bad."
I know.
But like, anyway, I mean, Collinsworth does the same thing with Mahomes, but it's just a
Mahomey. That thing's so funny. That meme is so funny.
I mean, it's just like I feel you have to be so much more objective than what these guys do. I like Collinsworth. He's done a good enough job over the course of his career. I like Romo. He's doing a good enough job. But I feel like that's not the best that the country has to offer. I mean, there's so many people. Appreciate it. There's so many people trying to make it. And even the game that it was the Cleveland game. The guys on that call were not good. They were not good. And it's just like, man, that comment struck me really hard there. I needed to talk about that.
It was great, though. Romo was a good quarterback.
No, he was a good quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah. That is funny. It is annoying about that, just how the broadcasters are able to, like the ex coaches and the ex quarterbacks are able to just.
I mean, Jason Garrett jumped in the booth and pretty much just said a grand total of nothing in
Yeah,
the
I think the
Peacock
only
game.
thing is it's just they bring in viewership because they were coaches and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
to be a guy like Stephen A. Smith, to be a guy like Skip Bayless, like it's so hard to establish yourself as that. But Dylan,
But
you're
I
doing
mean,
it right now. You're
yeah, I mean, I don't know that I like being compared to Skip Bayless. I'm not gonna lie.
That's what I mean. I just mean you gotta like as those guys, you have to just be
Yeah.
like you have to just make insane takes and like be like that's kind of how it is. You have to like make yourself, but
So
yeah,
52-49.
that was Charlie to be fair, but
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah, none
yeah,
of us hit on ours, and none of us hit on our big prediction.
I would have been close if Nico Collins had shot
If
that
Nico had that
bomb.
one catch, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, what was his stat? Wait, I want to look it up.
I
Nico
think he
Collins.
had like 80 something yards.
He had it was Browns. He had 96 yards. That bet would have been so close because that was like a 70-yard touchdown reception, 75-yard touchdown reception. So he'd have been at like 160, 170. Damn. We missed out on that one. And I said
Yeah.
200 plus. What, so close yet so far.
Yeah, I
Could have
mean,
never been more true.
man. So we want to just quickly rack through what we think is going to happen in Baltimore's game, what we think is going to happen in San Francisco game. I mean, it's kind of just like I feel like save it for the predictions. Call it early.
I say save it for the predictions.
All right.
And have these random clouds and
How many
this.
people we got in the stream right now? Anyone got questions?
I
Like,
can't see. I actually can't see.
yeah.
Tom the man. Oh, he changed his
Yeah.
name. It was Thomas Scott. We appreciate you. If you have any more questions, throw them in. We'll sit on here for a couple more minutes. I'm very tired.
I still haven't gotten good sleep since the Dolphins game. Like I've slept, but I haven't gotten like I didn't sleep. I didn't sleep last night. The night of the Dolphins game. Last night I slept a little bit.
I cannot agree with you more. This would be that would be such a
man.
good watching
Oh
Texans
man.
Bucks, that would be such a good game.
I'm also like I don't have a second team because that's not how football works. But I have a soft spot for Baltimore because that's where my mom grew up. And
Yeah.
I think that would be.
And the thing is, though, Dylan, this isn't that crazy to say. Like, yes, this would be a very unlikely matchup, but I wouldn't be surprised if it happened.
I would be
stunned
if it happened, but
I'm just saying, like,
it's
Dylan,
in the cards. It's in the cards.
I think any matchup is in the cards. I don't think, obviously, once you get to divisional round, there's not really the Steelers like teams in there anymore. But yeah, it's that would be some game. And again, we will be doing our picks tomorrow, which I'm very excited for. And Dylan, I think we could talk about doing a live stream. I go back on Sunday, but Saturday I'm here. That'll be the last night I'm here. So I say if we can.
I mean, what are the Saturday games? That's
it's Houston,
Baltimore, and then
I think Packers, Niners.
Niners. I mean, I would do whatever. I'm here for it.
Yeah, and also it gives you play-by-play experience.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. Yeah, we want to go through coaching carousel because I feel like that would be a kind of an interesting thing to touch on. Because
yeah, let's do it. I don't have a ton of more. I just don't know what I can offer energy wise.
Yeah, you good.
No, but okay. So let's look at it. So the coaches we know are on the market are Belichick.
Yep.
Are Harbaugh,
Vrabel. Then you can assume that Ben Johnson's going to get a job because of what he's done with Detroit.
You can assume that McCarthy. Yeah, McCarthy. I can assume
we'll get fired. I think you can assume that McDonald is going to be on radars from Baltimore. You can.
I think Dable might want out as much as I hate that as a Giants fan.
Maybe, but I think Wink got out, so I think that solves the problem.
Yeah.
Does Wink get a job?
No. As a head coach, no.
I wouldn't think so, but I don't know. I mean, Does that?
It's a really good head coach. Vrabel shouldn't have left the Titans.
Yeah.
But I guess the Titans are kind
Rivera's
of.
on the market for anyone that's interested in
I've
him.
never liked Rivera, but
I mean, Tomlin could be on the market. Who knows?
no, he
Sirianni
won't
could be
be.
on the market.
Sirianni, I don't. I think Tomlin could be, and then that would be a immediate,
Yeah.
incredibly eye-opening coach. Um,
Bobby Slowick could be on the market from the
yeah.
Texans.
Well,
That
here's the
would
thing.
be a good one.
I think Belichick's coaching tenure or like his coaching dominance is over. I think if I'm LA, I like Harbaugh more than
Yeah.
Belichick. I like
Yeah.
Vrabel more than Belichick. I would still like to see Belichick with Herbert because that could be something great. I mean, the Chargers every year, it's like the roster is there and they just don't have the output.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think you can bring Belichick to Los Angeles. I think for Herbert to succeed, to get the most out of Herbert, you need to bring in an offensive head coach with creative play calling that believes in the quarterback. That's always going to
Yeah.
be, with a young quarterback, the way to go. And a defensive
I mean,
head coach.
Dylan, maybe we see McDaniel. Maybe.
The Chris Greer made it clear today that Tua's still there, McDaniel's still there. They're running back this project.
How it should be.
Yeah. I think with that, the most dangerous thing in that press conference, that I watched the whole press conference, but
as you love to give yourself a pat on the back for.
But Christian Wilkins most likely will be on his way out, which is very frustrating.
It's a terrible way to go out with his roughing the passer call.
I believe Miami offered him a fair enough deal, but he probably can do better somewhere else, just money-wise, because there's not that much cap space to go around in Miami. So it'll be a tough loss, but Sealer will fill the boots to a good enough extent. He's a great inside rusher.
I mean, where Miami is draft is now, you could look at them getting Jerzon Newton out of Illinois, who is a beast.
If you're Miami, though, I don't think you can neglect the O-line in the draft.
Yeah, I know.
You
it's
either
a really deep O-line class.
You either trade the pick and make something out of it in a certain spot, whether that be at corner when Xavier Howard's out, you try to trade for like a Surtain, or do something massive, or you go to the trenches with this pick. Those are the two options.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, the NFC East could have. I mean, if you think Dable could be on his way out, it could be.
I don't think he will be. I don't think Dable will be on his way out.
But it could be 3 new head coaches. That is a sign for success for the Giants. That is something that you want. You need those rebuilds.
Yeah, but it's not like the Eagles are not rebuilding. The Cowboys, I don't like. It's teams that have either a coaching problem or just the quarterback just isn't, like the Cowboys is Dak that guy, and then just for the Eagles is Sirianni. Like, I think the Eagles, I don't think anything will change. I think they'll keep Sirianni. I think for the Eagles, you can't really do that based on a game you lost without 2 of your best receivers.
Yeah, I don't know though. I mean, Lurie's fired guys for less, so I think.
Yeah.
For you though, as a Giants fan, you have to want new coaches in your division, and honestly, there's not that much else to say. It's kind of just like wait and let it happen. You got anything else?
No. Yeah, I'd say obviously be on the lookout for our divisional picks tomorrow. And then I'd say between that and the games, maybe I'll try and put up a mock draft.
I'm going to be getting into college content as soon as the season ends. I just can't focus on it while the NFL season's going. But trust me, I'll be well informed. Don't fret.
I don't see why we can't do a play-by-play.
Yeah, I think when we did that, we made it happen. I just used my stream on my computer. I mean, you guys obviously
no. I would say you could. Either I go to you or you come to me, and then we can do it in person.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, that's what I say we do. It's just tough doing play-by-play the whole game. Being on live stream for a whole game is tough.
I can do it. I'm happy to do that. Yeah.
So yeah, well, we have a ton of stuff coming. Obviously, divisional picks, we'll have that coming. Me and Dylan will be around as always. We're always around. So Mr. Tom, thank you very much for your
Yeah.
comments. As always, we get a new kind of main guy in our live streams. Each time we
Yeah.
like have a wave going live, we always have a new guy. So we appreciate it, Tom. We'll be going live again. I mean, maybe we'll go live again this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll kind
I'm
of just
here all week. I have no
yeah,
plans.
Tom, if you have any requests, Tom, if you have any requests, we have Instagram. Also, you can always comment on one of our videos, anything that you would like.
Yeah.
But Key McDermott, Dylan Chow, another wild card weekend down. That's our 4th year in a row reporting on the wild card. 30.
I want to say fourth. I want to say fourth.
4th year in a row reporting on the wild card. So yeah, man, another milestone for the channel. Again, want to reiterate, thank you for 2000. We're already almost at like 2020, I think. So we appreciate it.
Let's run up the numbers.
Yeah, so thank you all so much. Dylan, I will see you actually soon. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching.